Welcome back to the Panic Room, everyone, and to another tag video today. So guys, today's tag is the in and out tag, or in or out tag, I don't know. I was tagged by Greg over at Another Bibliophile Reads, so thank you, Greg. So guys, this is a longish type tag. There's 26 prompts. I have Greg's video pulled up, but it's really just like in or out. So this is one of those that the length of this video is going to be based on how much I decide to ramble. So let's get started. All right, number 1, reading the last page first. Out. Why would you do that? Number 2, enemies to lovers. Mostly out. I hesitate to say completely because I'm sure somewhere someone has done that beautifully. I hesitate to say out completely simply because I don't like the idea of writing off an entire trope, because I'm sure somewhere someone's done it justice and done it really well, but usually it's just very predictable. So, out. Number 3, dream sequences. I think that can be done well. I think it depends on your skill as a writer, so in. Number 4, love triangles. Out. Just because I don't read a lot of like romance kind of stuff, so out. Number 5, crack spines. Hell yeah. I've seen a couple of these and they're like, oh, why would you crack the spine? And I know Greg didn't crack the spine and that's fine, but I buy a book to read it, at least for the time being. I understand if you have a really, really nice collection or a really, really nice edition that you might not want that to happen, but for me, I buy a book to read it. Now that being said, I don't like intentionally do it, but if it happens, it's not the end of the world for me. So I don't know. We'll say in, simply because I buy used books and they're probably already cracked anyway, so in. Number 6, back to my small town. Probably in, just because it's something that I can relate to. I think it can be done well. I'm sure it's not been done well in a number of books, but I think it can be, depending on the skill of the author, so in. Number 7, monsters are regular people. I love this. I love the idea of, I guess, seeing the monster inside. I guess it depends on how you treat the monster, the situation, so we'll go with in. Number 8, no paragraph breaks. I don't give a shit. If I can read your book in a clear and concise manner, I don't really care. Number 9, multi-generational sagas. I feel like this is more of a fantasy kind of deal than the books that I read. I don't necessarily mind it, again, if it's done well. I'm gonna be a broken record. If it's done well, if it's done well. I mean, yeah, that's kind of where I come out. Like, I don't like writing a lot of this stuff off because it can be done well in the proper hands. So, yeah, in. We're going down fast. Number 10, rereading. Out. And if you've been around here for any length of time, you know that about me. There's just too much new shit I want to read. Number 11, artificial intelligence. I mean, for sci-fi, yeah, it's fine. So, in. Again, I've read books that have like robots and stuff in them and they were fine, and I've read books that have robots in them that were kind of cheesy, so in. If you're a sci-fi fan, in. Number 12, drop caps. When they're appropriate. God, this is awful. Number 13, happy endings. No, I'm kidding. I don't mind a happy ending, but don't force it, because that's not the way life works. Number 14, plot points that only converge at the end. Again, if it's done well, I've read books like that it's done beautifully and you're like, holy crap, when you get to the end. And then I've read books that are like, oh my God, will you wrap this up? So, I mean, by and large, if it's done well, definitely in. Number 15, detailed magic systems. I don't read a lot of books with magic in them. I honestly think the last books that I read that had magic in them were probably the Sword of Truth series. It's been a while since I've mentioned that series, aren't you proud of me? And it was fine there because it was weaved into the world in a proper fashion. Now that being said, my friends here on BookTube that read fantasy, I've heard them in videos past complain about this, about how the magic system was either too complex or wasn't done well. So for me, I'm gonna say in, I guess, as long as it's done well. My God, that's all you guys have heard this entire video. In. Moving on. Let's see. 16, classic fantasy races. Does that mean like unicorns and stuff? Like classic fantasy thing? I'm not sure. Yeah, sure. That's fine. Whatever. Number 17, unreliable narrators. In. I love it. Just makes it all that much more interesting. Number 18, evil protagonists. In. All the way. Obviously. Number 19, The Chosen One. I'm just gonna title this video if it's done well. I hesitate to say out for this because I've read books, I've seen movies where the chosen one theme is done fairly well. I think it's tired, but I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm out and would never read something that had a chosen one, so if it's done well. 20, when the protagonist dies. Most of my protagonists die in my books, so I'm okay with that. Or they are just like severely maimed, either mentally or physically. So N. 21, really long chapters. Don't care. As long as you're telling the story and I'm enjoying myself, I could give a shit if you have chapters at all. 22, French flaps. Greg showed this in his video, like the little, I don't even think I have a book with them, but the little like fold out things on the sides that cover your cover. I didn't know they were called French flaps. I'm fine with that. If the little paper cover on the book annoys me, I'll just take it off until I finish the book. 23, deckled edges. I didn't know it was called this, but yes, I like deckled edges. I think they're kind of pretty. 24, signed copies by the author. Why would you not like this? Like, I'm curious. Please tell me down in the comments, why would you not like a signed copy from the author? Like, why would you be out of that? Because I really cannot fathom a reason. 25, dog-earing pages. I did as a kid. Drove my mom insane. I can see now that you are really hurting the integrity of the book when you do that. Now you guys know I'm not fanatical about stuff like that, but I can see where it could hurt the integrity of the page. And the page with the words on it is why you're there. So probably best not to do that, so out. And 26, chapter titles instead of numbers. I don't care. It's your book. You do whatever the hell you want. In? Alright guys, that is it for the in and out tag. Greg, thank you for tagging me in this. You know I always love bombing these tags. This one was about 50-50 I feel like. So 26 prompts, you might have got maybe 10 decent answers. That's not 50-50, I'm bad at math. Anyway guys, if you like this, please hit like, hit subscribe, it would really help me out. And until next time, bye for now.